So, you've heard lots about Dungeons & Dragons and you've finally decided you want to roll up your sleeves and get to it. Great, but now where do you start? This series of videos will talk you through how to prepare for your first D&D experience. Right off the bat, I just want to let you know that this series will only talk you through the most recent version of Dungeons & Dragons, 5th edition. I personally feel this is the simplest way to get into the game without it becoming too much of a daunting task. 5th edition is far simpler than previous versions, but I still wholly believe it can be every bit as enjoyable as other editions. With that being said, let's get to it. The first thing you'll need to do to get into Dungeons & Dragons is to find a group to play with. D&D is a social game, so you'll need at least 2 people to play. One of the group will have to become the Dungeon Master, or DM. The DM will control all aspects of the game except for the actions of the player characters, known also as PCs. Now there are lots of different ways to find a Dungeons & Dragons group, but here is what I believe to be some of the simplest ways. One way is to get in touch with a local board game shop and ask if they have any D&D groups with open spaces. This can be a really great way of getting into the game, as everyone else at the table will have at least some prior experience, which can help massively when trying to learn the rules. Another way of getting into D&D is by using the internet to find a group. There are lots of different ways to find a group on the web, but some of the best ways I have seen are the Looking for Groups subreddit and also a website called meetup.com. Both of these have their benefits. Meetup.com can be a great way to still get to meet up in person to play, whereas the LFG subreddit can be beneficial if you're in an area where there is no already active groups. Links to both of those can be found in the description. Lastly, you could always try to make your own group. This could be done by using the web or by asking your local game shop if they'd be happy for you to create and advertise a group through them. You could also get in touch with your friends and ask them if they'd like to play. One thing to note is if you do decide to make your own group, one of you will have to become the DM, which can be a scary and daunting task, especially if you are all newbies. You could always try to find a DM with previous D&D experience and ask them to join, or just simply learn as you play with your friends. Now that you've found a group, you will need to agree with the rest of the players and the DM what the campaign setting should be. What I mean by this is what world you'll be adventuring in. These can be chosen from pre-made settings such as the world of Eberron, or by taking inspiration from a franchise that you all enjoy such as The Lord of the Rings. Using the pre-made campaign settings can be useful, as all you'll need to do is purchase the chosen settings book, because all the information you need will be inside. Alternatively, your DM could make their own world, which in D&D slang is called Homebrew, and fill it with whatever they like. I personally prefer to homebrew my campaigns as it allows me to tailor the world to my players. A DM can still take inspiration from and borrow official settings ideas such as storylines, a race's history, or even the pantheons they use. This can be a huge undertaking to create a full world and can be very time consuming, so it really does come down to a group decision of what will work for the DM and the players. With all the topics we just covered, you and your party will now be able to move on to what I consider one of the most enjoyable parts of D&D, which is character creation. We'll dive into making your first character in the next video. I do hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, concerns or comments about what has been covered, do comment down below and I'll be sure to reply. If you want to keep up to date with this series, I recommend subscribing as this will keep you in the loop. If you found this video enjoyable, please do give us a like as we really appreciate it. Thank you again and I'll see you in the next video.